Hello, everyone. This is Danny Dowd with the Iowa Department of Public Health and the Bureau of Emergency and Trauma Services. This webinar is intended to instruct Level 3 facilities or any level really that wants to export their data in the NTDB file format. So I'm just going to walk through this real quick. The first thing you want to do is go to our website, iowa.imagetrendregistry.com, and then you'll log in. Agree to the privacy statement, and I'm going to be using our demo hospital. So what you do first is in the top left, you'll go to this data exchange. And then on the left side, you'll see import and export. It might be collapsed, so just click on that and then go to NTDB export. And then you'll click on generate export. So it'll list all of the exports that you've done in the past. You might not have any of them, but you can go into those exports by clicking on this icon over here. But what we'll do to generate a new one is click on generate export. You can rename it if you want, you don't have to. You won't have this facility selection thing. It will automatically just do whatever facility you have, unless you have access to multiple facilities. That does happen. So what you can do is enter your date range. So I'm making this video in May of 2019, so all the people submitting NTDB call for data for the 2018 year, you'll be using this date range. So you type that in, the submission year/channel should default to the correct one based on the date range that you chose. You should never have multiple years within your date range. So you wouldn't want to even do December of 2018 and January of 2019. You want to make sure that as many years as you have as many exports. So that's really all you have to fill out. Then you click on Generate Export. This page might take a little bit longer for you to come up, but I've only got 7 records since this is our demo facility. So really this page, you just want to make sure that you have the number of records that you would expect. It's usually not all of your incidents that you have in the registry. It's just the ones that meet the NTDB inclusion criteria. So you can see the validity scores. I mean, this is a demo facility, so it doesn't really matter for us. But if you see you have one with low validity, then maybe you want to go in and try to see why that is the case and if you can get it higher. But otherwise, we'll just click on export. And then when you click on export, what it's doing, and for you it's going to take longer, but it should be loading. And what it's doing is generating this XML file. And that is just a file that contains all of the data for the incidents that you're exporting. Contains all the NTDB fields and their values. So once it generates that file, it then does the NTDB validation. And you can see it gives you the error count here. So for us, we have 2 level 1 and 1 level 2 error. And the default filter is for level 1 and 2 errors. Now the reason they do that is because level 1 and 2 errors are the ones that are going to prevent you from submitting your data to the NTDB. The 3 and 4 level errors, those don't really matter. They can be helpful. Sometimes it will say something like a certain procedure time is maybe after the patient was discharged, something like that. So it can help you with your quality of data, but the 1s and 2s are the ones that we actually need to fix. So first I'll show you how you can go about fixing these. So we've got this incident here, and this is not an applicable alcohol screen result, or it can't be not applicable when alcohol screen is 1. This other incident here has 2 errors in it. So the incident city and the incident county are invalid. Every error that you encounter is going to be a different solution, but I'll just show you what this one is talking about. So the way that I go about this is I copy the incident number, and then if you open a new tab of your facilities, and then go over there, and then go to your incident list. And we had copied that incident number, so what we're going to do is paste that in there and click go. And then we found this patient. Now this is just a demo patient, so it's not an actual person. This is, yeah. Okay, so we have entered this information prior to this, and so we're just seeing why are these errors there. So this incident had the incident city and incident county. It says invalid value, US only. So the way you can run the validation on here, many of you already know, is you go over to the wrench and then click on run validation. And so we see that we have these errors here. This is kind of unfortunate. These errors are showing up right now, but they actually are not applicable for this export. So pretend those are not there. So the incident county and incident city, that is where the injury occurred. So that will be on the injury tab. So you can see that the postal code, city, county, none of those are entered. It just shows the state and the country. So if we wanted to fix this, what we could do, now this one is locked, so we can go to unlocked. Click OK for that. So I'm just going to correct one of these. So I'm just going to put Grand Rapids because I think it had Michigan there. Click set for that. Okay. This is annoying. Grand Rapids. So we'll set that. So I did not enter the county, and as you'll recall, the city and the county were causing errors on here. So what I'm going to do now is save this. And then just to check that the city error is corrected, I'm going to run the validation. We can see that that error is gone now. So when I do this export again, because you need to get rid of all your level 1 and 2 errors, but for this demo, I'm only getting rid of that one thing there. So you have to generate the export again. So we'll name it something else, and then we'll do that same date range and generate the export. Now you have to generate the export again because when you generate an export, it creates a file with the data values. So when you go back and change the values of the data on the incident form, when you do another export, the file is going to have different information in it. Okay, so now we can see that that incident does not show up on here anymore. We've only got the single incident. So if we had fixed this one as well, let's just pretend that there are 0 level 1 and 2 errors on there, then what we would do is click on this download file link. And you can see it says XML down there. I hope this webinar is recording that. So you do not need to open that XML file. All you need to do is you can do show in folder, and then if you're in Internet Explorer, then it might be like save as or something, I forget. But just make sure that you save it in a location that you know and you're going to remember, and you have to rename it as well, because the file name as it generates from ImageTrend has hyphens in it. You can't have those special characters in the file name when you upload it to the NTDB site. So the next step in this process is once you have that XML file, you log into the NTDB site with the information that you were given. And as I understand it, every year you have to kind of reapply, but I think it's an easier process after you've done it the first time. And then once you've reapplied and they accept it and then they take your money, you know, it's $500 for just the call for data thing. And that's every year. So once you get all that taken care of, you can log into the data portal, and there's some place on that site, again, I don't have access to it since I don't work at a hospital, but you can go to the data portal, and then it should be something that says like upload your data, something like that. So you click on that, you navigate to where you saved the XML, making sure that you don't have any hyphens in it or any other weird special characters, and then you upload it, and it should tell you right away if the file name is not applicable, and it should tell you if the facility ID is also not matching. Now, I took care of all of those last year, but just in case there are any new facilities or anything like that, the facility ID in our registry, the state trauma registry and image trend, that needs to match the NTDB facility ID. So if you have either of those two errors, then let me know. Obviously, if it's a naming error, then you can just rename the file. Just use letters and numbers. Then once you get it uploaded, it should give you a green check mark on the NTDB site. After you see the green check mark, I think there are 2 reports that are immediately available to you. So you can take a look at those. And the due date this year is June 3rd of 2019, and that's for the 2018 data. And I think that it's going to be similar in the years going forward, because as some of you might recall, it was a later due date in 2018 because it was not a typical year because they had to redesign the software or something. So let us know here at the Bureau if you have any questions about this. You can reach out to me, Danny Dowd. It's danny.dowd@idph.iowa.gov. And then there's Margot McComas and Diane Williams as well. So just let us know if you run into issues, and we'll help you out. Thanks.